Okay, we left off over here on holding Dvarim Shebelev. Rava says on Nunamid Beis, on Mentesem Beis, Dvarim Shebelev Ein Dvarim. The story was a person sold his property with in mind to go to Eretz Yisrael, and somehow it didn't work out. However, when he transferred the property, he did not specify, it was contingent whether he goes or doesn't go. But before he had gone, he said, the reason why I'm selling my property is because I'm moving to Eretz Yisrael. But the sale was not conditional whether he goes or doesn't go. He sells the property, it falls through, he's not able to go. So the question is, in his mind, he claims, I only sold it because I meant to go. But if I wouldn't want to go, if I'm not going, I wouldn't have sold it. But since he didn't verbalize that condition at the time of the sale, well, we'll discuss that. That's called Tanai Kofel. He didn't verbalize anything. Said nothing. But we knew before he actually transacted the sale, that's what he had in mind. Because he's going. That's why he's selling off all his properties. Well, we also knew. Because he mentioned it. Look, person doesn't go to Israel to just, he's not an escapee. He was telling me, I'm moving, I'm going to have a garage sale, I'm selling it. But at the time of selling off his properties, it was not contingent on going. So the condition was not said at the time of the sale. So now the question is, and after it falls through. So is the sale a sale? If he would have verbalized a condition in a proper way, it's contingent on going. Definitely wouldn't have been a sale. Because it was contingent whether he goes or doesn't go. So Rava says, although we believe him, he only sold it because of that, but since he didn't verbalize the condition at the time of the transfer, the sale is a sale. The transfer is a transfer. That's Dvarim Shebelev Ein Dvarim. So Tosas asks, but it seems to be if he would have verbalized it, said, I'm only selling because I'm going, it would have what? It would not be a sale. Tosas asked, but halachically we ruled that one needs a Tanai Kofel, that even when you say the condition, you express the condition, you have to say both sides of the condition. And that's something we have later in the Gemara. That's learned from Tanai B'nai Gad B'nai Ruvain, that when Moshe had said to the B'nai Ruvain, if you cross and you cross the Jordan, fight with your brothers and conquer the land, then the Trans-Jordan side will be yours. And if not, it will not be yours. So unless you say both sides of the condition, it's not considered a valid condition. So over here, even if he would have said, I'm selling because I'm going, since he didn't say the second half, and if I don't go, it will not be a sale, so seemingly the condition is not a valid condition. So what are we only discussing? Because it's Dvarim Shebelev, because he did not express himself. Even if he would have expressed himself, it's not a proper expression. It's not expressed legally. It's not expressed correctly. That was Tos's question. We'll get there. We'll discuss it. I'm being soft with you because you're just there the first time. Okay, so Tosas asks, that's Tosas' question. So Tosas says, "V'kosha my hobino tanai kofel v'alei lo hisno shem lo yelech lo yiskam mekach." Even if he would have verbalized it, since he didn't speak out both sides of the condition, it's not considered a tanai. So he cited the Rashbam Pirish, Kabi Esrog al Manas Lahachzir, right? The Dalin meeting, we give him Matorah Manas Lahachzir. If the person returns the lulav, you yotzei. If you don't return the borrowed lulav, you're not yotzei. So the Rashbam says, V'ava gav debino tanai kofel. Although when he gave him the esrog, he did not say both sides. I'm giving it to be yotzei, only if you return it. And he doesn't say, and if you don't, you're not yotzei. He didn't say that. Yet the halacha is, the Gemara says, if he doesn't return the esrog, he's not yotzei. Hani mili bi iser. So Rashbam says, when we're dealing with iser, what's iser? Something that has to do with provision. Kagon hiskachi le almana shetitni le mosayim zuz. A conditional marriage. V'chein beget. Askin Shmuel begito. Yishchimira. Av b'momod lobina tanai kofu. Regarding monetary issues, one doesn't have to. The law of Tanai, that it has to be expressed in a specific way, to meet this standard, it doesn't. Wait, 1 second. No, 1 second. Only when I'm dealing with Isser, a forbidden status, a permitted status, a forbidden status, like marriage and divorce. But something transferring monetary, it has no relevance. The Torah doesn't demand that you have to meet the criteria of what a condition is. As long as we know your intent, that's sufficient. So if the intent is only if you return it, then Yotze, that's sufficient. Okay? V'lo nehira. So Tosas asks a phenomenal question. Do kol tenai yalfinim b'nei Gad b'nei Ruvain. What's the source? The origin that a tenai has to be expressed in a certain way. It's from the story of what Moshe with b'nei Gad b'nei Ruvain. It was a question of property, ownership. V'osam davashim b'mamon. It was monetary. It was do they own the Transjordan side or don't they own the Transjordan side? We're not dealing with Isser. Okay, I mentioned in the way Rav Shmuel Rozovsky, the way he answered. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that now. Just don't want to go there. V'omeri. The Re says the tzorach l'chalik. He says differently. It has nothing to do with mamon. So what they answered Rashbam, that Tosas, if you take a look at the Rashbam, what he really says, Tosas evidently understood the Rashbam differently. What he meant to say, it's a machlokas, Rameh, the Chachamim, whether you need a Tanai Kofel. We rule like the Chachamim. And when you express a condition, one doesn't have to say both sides of the condition. However, l'chumra, rabbinically, we're machmir, that there should be no question what exactly the intent was, you have to speak out both sides of the condition. So where's that? When we're dealing with marriage, divorce, it's something of very serious nature. We don't want there should be any question of what his intent was. Therefore, we have to speak out both sides of the condition. And what? No, we don't rule. On our Torah level, there's no difference. Mamon, Isser, it's all, one doesn't need a Tanai Kofel. Because we rule like the Chachamim, not like Rameir. However, that we do have Tanai Kofel by Isser, that's a rabbinic stringency. That's a rabbinic stringency. That's what the Rashbam is saying. Okay.
And yet, here we're saying if you don't have a double
It's not by, yeah. Because this is, it's, okay. Rameir says, when you say positive, there's an inference to the negative. But here we're talking about Tanai. It's the question, what do I extrapolate from Tanai b'nei Gad b'nei Ruvain? What do I extrapolate from here? Does it have to be everything that, the way exactly as Moshe expressed it, or doesn't it? It's a whole different concept. Okay.
You're just applying the paradigm.
There it's limited to that specific discussion.
That's part of a broader issue.
No. Evidently not, because Rameir over this Machmir. And here he says, we do follow inference. Okay? Vomeri tzorach l'chalik v'loma. Now, he makes three levels of differentiation. Yesh dvorim she'en tzrichen Tanai Kofel elu gilui milso dan atzadi dadai tetochi ovid. He says, now it's like almost like Dorish time of the crow. It's like we're going into the understanding why the Torah wants both sides of the issue to be discussed. Let's say we could say with absolute certainty, this is the person's intent. Not a question. It's even more than presumption. It's almost absolutely, this is the mindset of a person. If you do this, yes. If you don't do that, it's no. If you verbalize nothing, you say nothing, that's the equivalent of expressing it in such a way. Emphatically, this is what I mean. No question. Therefore, one doesn't need Tanai Kofel, one doesn't even have to verbalize it. Even if one says nothing, because it's understood, nobody's giving it away. Nobody's giving away a lulav only on the condition that he gets it back. So if he says nothing, okay, we'll see. No, the Ishtvarim she'en tzrichen Tanai Kofel like Gilui Milso. Certain things you need Gilui Milso. If there's a slight question, you just have to reveal your intent. Once you reveal your intent, we know exactly what you mean. If you don't reveal your intent, you haven't identified yourself. But once you identify yourself, then it's clear you've stated who you are. I'll give you an example. A person is a very generous person. He's a person who doesn't say a word. So if he'd say, maybe he's really giving it away. But let's say he says, I expect it back. That he's revealing what his intent is. He says, I'm giving it to you but I expect it back. So as generous as I am, but in this context, I'm expecting it back. So as a result of that, that's Gilui Milsi. Just has to reveal who he is. Once he's revealed, then we know exactly what his intention is, without a question. We could all understand, we're all witnesses, we could all attest factually that that's his mindset. There's another situation, one doesn't even have to reveal what his intent is, because there's no question that definitely is his intent. What's the case? A person is, let's say, he's childless because he believes he has no heirs, and he writes away, transfers all his assets to a third party because he has no heirs. V'shama sheyesh lo ben. Then he comes upon, now all of a sudden he realizes that he has an heir. He has a son. Shamatona betelo. The gift is what? Is nullified. Of course, we could say without certainty the only reason why he was giving away all his assets because he believed he had no heir. But no, not where he said this. Concluded, but he was unaware at the time that he transacted whatever that he had an heir. And it's clear he was only giving it away because he believed he was childless. Although he said nothing. He didn't make any condition. He didn't say only I'm giving because I believe I have no son. He didn't say that. But since anybody in his situation, if he'd have a son, would not behave this way, therefore it's clear it's only because he believed he had no son. A person writes over everything to his wife. She is the sole proprietor, so to say. He only means she's the guardian. He doesn't mean more than an administrator. He's not actually transferring that the properties are hers. The same thing. If here he would have said, I'm selling it because I'm going to Eretz Yisrael at the time of the sale, although he didn't speak out both sides of the issue. If I go, it should be a sale. If I don't go, it should not be a sale. Once he revealed at the time of the sale, I'm selling because I'm going, he's clearly stating his position. Meaning, I'm only selling it because I'm going, and if I'm not going, then I'm not agreeable to sell it.
All those cases that we have, like, I'm selling you my boat, it's done. And then you have the argument between Rabbi Akiva and Muhammad as to what exactly you sold. Did you sell the boat? Did you sell the oars? Did you sell everything with it? In other words...
No, it's not comparable. Not comparable. Not comparable. There's an argument talking about a Daf Yomi Jew here. The Gemara says in Bava Basra, a person sells a field. On the field, you have an easement. So it's understood. A person sells a field, buys a field, and it's surrounded by other fields. He's buying the easement to be able to get there. What about if there's a well on the field, or a mill, a water system mill? The seller, did he sell it? He just said the field. He didn't say the water cistern, the well, or the mill that's on the property. So we say, when a person sells, does he sell by in yofer, or doesn't he sell by? When a person sells, a person's mindset is he sells it in the most generous way, so that it's all inclusive. What do we say? No, a person only gives up what he has to give up. It's what I said. Field means field, doesn't mean water system, doesn't mean, that's an argument. It's machlokes tanoim. When a person sells them, is buying yofer mocher or not buying yofer mocher? So there it depends on, when a person says those words, what does he mean? Does he mean A? Does he mean B? It's like you sell a house. Is it with furniture or without furniture? I remember when I bought my house in Muncie. So the seller, he was a son-in-law of somebody. The one who owned the house wasn't the son-in-law, he sold. So I understood there's certain things you leave in the house. Anything that this son-in-law was able to tear out of the house. When I say, if he could have taken the house apart, he would have taken the house with him. And, of course, I understood he was supposed to leave certain things. Let's say it was the stove. The stove was attached. Took whatever he was able to dismantle, he took with him. I remember there was even a small ball, a child's ball. Even that, not that I needed it. 6 months after he moved out, he divorced his wife, this person. Yeah, this is the kind of person he was. He wouldn't give you ice in the winter or air to breathe if he didn't have to. That's his personality. So, but the question is, is buying yofa mocher or not buying yofa mocher? When a person sells, does he sell with a good eye or with a very limited? I only give up what I have to give up.
It's not the same sort of evaluation. The guy's generous. The gift is not a gift.
We're talking about the average person. How do we evaluate the average person? That's the argument. The machlokes tanoim. No. If he said it, no. Here he didn't say anything at the time of the sale. It means if there was a gilui milsa at the time of the sale, if he would say, I'm selling it property because I'm going to Eretz Yisrael, although he didn't say it wasn't a Tanai Kofel. That's what then there's Nan Sadi. He said nothing here. When he sold the property, he said nothing. We understand before from what preceded, the reason why he's selling his property is because he's going to Eretz Yisrael. But at the time of the sale, he didn't say a word. So that's Dvarm Shibalev. That's Dvarm Shibalev. No. No relevance to Hefker business. This is purely an evaluation.
We're asking the question, is the transaction valid or not? That's the question we're asking. Something happened.
Correct. So now we're making an evaluation.
Valid.
Correct.
The authority of the bedroom is to say, no matter what you think, we're saying no.
No. That's not what they're saying over here. No. They're telling you what the Torah is saying. That we're making it, the Torah says what you have in mind has no bearing on the transfer. And since you didn't verbalize the condition when you transfer it, we don't deal with what you thought. Unless it's absolutely clear to everyone you did the transaction, that was your mindset, we don't deal with what you said, that you had thought.
But then we just heard a minute ago
No.
that both sides of the condition, as it relates to Reuben and Gad, we don't rule that way.
No.
We do that to make it not.
No. We're not going with that right now. We're going according
to that opinion.
According to that opinion, you don't need it. You don't need that. You don't need it. According to that opinion, it's not difficult at all. You don't need it tonight, couple on a Torah level. So therefore,
why did the Torah do it that way? Why?
no. Because that's not a question. I mean, there's, no. We don't learn it. And Chacham say that we don't learn it from there. We don't. We learn there's the laws of Tanai, of condition, and you have to express certain things a certain way. But Tanai Kofel, speaking out both sides of the condition, that we don't draw from B'nai Gad B'nai Reuven. That's the argument. Every condition does have to be exactly as they did it, or it doesn't have to be exact. Chacham say it doesn't have to be exactly.
So what do we learn?
We'll get to, there are other things. There are other things to learn from there. There are other things that we're going to learn from over there. But this we don't learn. He has a son, not heirs. He has a son. No, it was never. It was under so-called it was mistaken. It was a mistaken transfer. Mistaken transfer is not valid. It's like we have a mekach tos. That's what it is. You shouldn't have accepted. I'm selling the land on the condition, a condition. You don't want to accept the condition, don't buy it.
No, this isn't a stated condition. We're talking about a condition that this is what you're thinking.
No, first he's gifting it. Here he's gifting it. He's gifting his properties. He's gifting his properties to a third party. Unconditionally. Same thing. No, selling has nothing to do with whether you have an heir or don't have an heir. That wouldn't have made difference. Here he gifted everything away. See, figured he has no heirs. He's gifting it to whoever, his best friend. If he would have known he had a son, he wouldn't have gifted it even to his best friend.
So guys, I sell my ranch in Texas, and 6 months later, Exxon finds $5 billion of oil underneath it. Had I known, I would never have sold it.
Good.
So
No.
So what's the story?
You have to take a look at there's a tosis in Ksubas on that Beis Amid Beis that it says that over there that a person divorces his wife that it should take effect, that the get should take effect if he doesn't return, the get should be a get. And if he does return, within a certain period of time. Whatever it is. So what is the value of the get? Because he doesn't want his wife to fall to evil. Right? Similar with his army. Before they go, it was a conditional get. If they return, it's not a get. If they don't return, it is a get from the time that the get was given to the wife. So over there, it speaks about a case. The man says, if I die, it should be a get from now, by a certain time. If I don't die, it should not be a get. So it says, what about if he's bitten by a snake? Or he falls from a roof? So it says it's irrelevant. Then the get is so Tosas explains, a person when he thinks of dying, it means natural causes. It doesn't enter a person's mind he's going to be bitten by a snake or fall from a roof. So when he thought about dying doesn't mean that. Just you learn Ksubas, you learn Zroim, right? So you learn Ksubas, you'll see Tos that base on the base. So I'm saying the same idea over here. When a person sells property, if he would say, if Exxon should find, they're ready in the area they found oil, if Exxon should find, and that's a conditional sale, okay, good. But under normal circumstances, it has to be something which is to be considered, right? Something which is never considered. See, now it's possible a man has a child. He's just unaware he has a child. He's unaware he has a child. But to say they're going to find oil on the property, where it's something which is so remote, so far-fetched and unheard of, and now they find it. Since it's impossible that you could have thought that at the time of the sale, or even considered that at the time of the sale is unconditional. What? It's valid. It's a valid transfer.
Even a basic concept that many transactions, that once the person who's selling thinks he's better off selling, and the person buying thinks he's better off buying, and if they find out 2 months later that they were wrong, then
it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. That's like the.
But selling in, but this is David is one of the extreme case. But even a most basic case, if something goes up in value because of normal occurrences,
Yeah, because that's every day. That's everyday things fluctuate. That's the risk you're taking.
I think that's
No, it's not like a son. If I would have known I had a son, I wouldn't have gifted my properties away. Right? This is daily. When you buy and sell, it's to make money. So if I would have known it would have gone up, I wouldn't have sold. Okay, but that's business. Right? So then either you include it. There's no way the person who bought or sell is going to be agreeable to that. Right? Okay. Or otherwise, the price is a different price. So therefore, as a result of that, unless you write it, it's nothing. You don't even consider that. Whenever he goes into the office, he becomes a better businessman when he gets there. Okay. Ephraim.
About the property, and Abraham Avinu was so careful in his words and the way they transacted.
But do you know why he was so careful? Because he was dealing with a dishonest man. Because Ephraim was dishonest. You can imagine how dishonest he was. And he wanted to construct it in a way that later, after he received it, that he can contest the sale. That the sale is not a valid sale. That he was forced into, and so on and so forth. You think people give such accolades? They refer to him, you're the Prince of God, you're this, that. He says, he forced us. We were intimidated. And that would have been a basis to undo the sale. So Avram was aware of everything. So therefore, he says, I'm a stranger, I'm a nothing. He minimized whatever accolades they gave him, he dismissed it. That later they shouldn't be able to come and say, well, we gifted it only because. He said, look, I paid full value. I did not intimidate you because I said I'm a stranger, I'm nothing here, and so on and so forth. So he preempted whatever they were trying to bring about.
My question is, there is, as Alvin says, that gravesite was an extremely important historical gravesite. Okay? That Ephraim did not know.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask you a question. You have a piece of property. The market value is X. I know there's gold on the property. I know there's oil on the property. But nobody in the world knows except myself. Okay? So what's market value? Market value is an ordinary piece of property. I don't divulge it to the owner, and I buy it for market value. Did I do anything dishonest?
And then subsequently it's found out
That I knew.
that the fact that you know exists.
But nobody in the world knew except myself.
And the value of the property skyrocketed
As
as a result.
a result, but nobody in the world knew except myself. It's a valid transfer. If a person is not aware of the true value of his property, meaning the market, people, there is a value out there, and I'm deceiving you by not alerting you or making you aware of its true value because the world values it, that's dishonest. But if nobody knows except me, and the market value is X, and I know it's much more than X, I'm not obligated to divulge anything to you. No, because that's a fact. No, that's a fact. It's a Rembrandt. According to, again, let's say nobody knows who Rembrandt is. Nobody knows who Rembrandt is. But I know once I get that painting, I'll be able to reveal to the world the genius in that painting. So right now, I say Rembrandt, nobody will pay you more than $5 for the painting. It's only through my revealing its value, that's when it'll take on that value. That's called don't know. If you underpay a certain amount and the person is taking a loss, it's not a valid sale. It's not a valid acquisition. Doesn't make a difference. Let's say you buy gold and later you find out it wasn't gold. It was gold plate. You have a right to bring it back 2 years later. Of course, if you bought it as gold and it's not gold, you return it. It's not what you intended to buy. It's not what the person intended to sell. Same idea. You know, what secular law is and what Jewish law be two different things.
But every sale, the person who's selling it knows that the buyer thinks it has a greater value than what they're paying for it.
Greater value than he's paying for it? No.
Or very often.
Doesn't have less value. Nobody's paying more for less. No, whatever it is, it's irrelevant.
It's very common that someone buying something believes it's...
Of course, for him, it may be more. For somebody else, it may not be more. Otherwise, it's not worth it for them.
And then you find out that this is worth really a lot of money. This person is happy because he knows he's 20%. So I mean, he can believe it. You know, it's easy. No one
But let me tell you, let's say a person owns a house, and it's worth $500,000, and he paid $100,000, and the buyer buys it, he doesn't realize it's worth $1 million. Although 500, he's making a tremendous profit on what he paid for it. He's not selling $500,000 house, which is worth $1 million for $500,000, and it's not a valid sale. If he's not aware, halachically, it's not a valid sale. That's if it's more than 50%. If it's more than 50%, it's oh no. 50%. Property, fixed property.
Between the value and what someone pays for it.
Yeah. Not a metallic. Right. Correct. No. Art is something else. Art has, even if it's less than 50%, it's considered not valid. 1/6. Yeah. But again, you have Dina Malchusdina. I don't know if you buy something from an art gallery that it's subject to all different kinds of laws. I'm not sure. Okay. First of all, what about a goy? Do you have to give back to a goy? Right? I'm not sure what Dina Malchusdina is on that. Not sure. Today, nothing's final. The story where the person found, I don't know how much money in the couch, the cash, right? If it would have been revealed legally, would he had to give back the money? Maybe he would have, right? He bought a couch, he didn't buy the money. That's what you could say. In today's day and age, you could say anything, anything, there's a basis for a lawsuit. or for a claim. I'm not sure. Okay? So now the Gemara asks a question. So Rava rules Dvarim Shabbalim Dvarim. Menolei l'Ravaho. How does Rava know this? How does Rava know that even though a person did not verbalize, although it's not an Anand Sadik, we can't say, we say, Tosa says, if it's with absolute certainty, this is what he meant, it's as if he verbalized it. But if it's not absolute certainty, we don't deal with what he had in his mind, although we trust that's what he meant. Where do we learn this from? Ilemo mehodit nan yakrivoso. There's a halacha that first makes a neder, he's going to bring a korban. Let's say a shlomim. And then afterwards he says, I'm not bringing it. He made a neder. So the halacha is the court could actually force him to bring that korban against his will, although it says by korban it has to be l'ritzono. He has to bring it willingly. So what do they do? He says, I'm not bringing it. So they twist his arm, and the pain is so great, he says, I'm happy to bring it. But we know why is he saying he's happy to bring it? Because the pain is unbearable. Okay? Maybe you could actually compel him to such a degree, even against his will. Talmud Loma, Luritzono. When he brings the korban, it has to be Luritzono. It has to be willingly. HaKetzad. So how do they work it out? Kovenos Hachil Marotzani. Meaning they beat him till he says, I'm more than happy to do it. Vamai. Why do those words have any value? We know he's only saying, I'm happy because the pain is unbearable. But we know in his heart, he's being forced. But yet that's called the Ritzono. So evidently, what do we see here? That what he has in his mind, so let's talk here. If it's an Anand Sadi, then this has no relevance, correct? If even after twisting his arm, when he says, I'm agreeable to bring it, if we know factually he does not want to bring it, if it's that clear, that's not Dvarim Shabbalim, right? That's not Ansadi. That's what Tosa said earlier. Correct? So then it's difficult. It says, Makaros Achio Marotzani. Okay. We're going to talk yet in a minute. The Gemara's going to quote a Mishnah by Get. Initially, initially we were clear. Now he says Rotzani with the korban. When he says Rotzani, is it absolutely clear to us in his mind he definitely does not want to bring it as an Anand Sadi? If it's that case, then it's difficult. Because we said earlier, if it's Anand Sadi, regardless of what he says, it's as if he says it's against my will. So evidently what we're saying now, even though initially he didn't want to bring it, but maybe now there's a consideration that maybe he's changed his mind. Probably not, but it's not absolutely clear. And we say if something is not absolutely clear, what do you deal with? What you say, not what initially what I believed it to be. No, because nobody gives away his assets. He gave away everything. We're talking he gave away everything. Everything. No, we're not talking about a different case. We're talking about that case. That's the example where something's absolutely clear beyond any doubt, any shadow of the doubt. It's like, when they say to the jury, when you give your verdict, that's be beyond any shadow of doubt guilty. That's the level of certainty it has to be continued.